2. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry. It didn't
All good.
it didn't save podcast. Come on. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of my podcast, Ramblings of a Madman. My name is Aaron, aka Insanefreak. If you're watching this on Twitch, feel free to hit the follow button, and there's a donate button down below if you feel like being generous. I do need to pay rent this month at some point. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment down below. For today, we have a very special guest. We have the drummer of a band called Pulses. His name is Kevin Taylor. How you doing today, Kevin?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for choosing to be with us today. So, why
Yeah.
don't you tell us what you do?
I play drums for Pulses and manage most of the social media and write lyrics and be the
Nice.
band dad.
Yeah, that's what's up. Um, so, what would you say is like the genre, or like what kind of music is Pulses?
Pulses at its core is a post-hardcore band, but we like to play around with a lot of other genres just because we're all like really into different things, and all that kind of just seeps into the music when the four of us get together and like try to think of things.
Absolutely, yeah, that's crazy. So I've been listening to you guys actually for I want to say 3 years now.
Nice.
Whenever your first album came out, that's when I got on board, and I'm blown away by like your guys' style of writing and how you incorporate things into songs.
hmm
I
Thank
have
you.
I want to play a quick clip, and
Okay.
then I want you to maybe explain it for me if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I don't know if you probably won't be able to hear it because it's gonna come through
We'll
fine, but
see.
I'll tell you what it is after I play it.
Okay.
Hey Taylor,
What's up?
do you like pineapple juice?
I love pineapple juice.
Word. Do you like apple juice?
All right, I'm just gonna stop it there. But pretty much, it's
Okay.
the part in I Drink Juice where, hey Taylor, do you like pineapple juice? I
Yeah.
love pineapple. I don't know if anybody, a lot of people ask you about that, but that's like my favorite part of the song. Like how it's like
Wow.
this post-hardcore, like "Wah!" Like you guys are jamming out, and then it just stops, and you're just asking your girlfriend, hey, like can you maybe elaborate on what that part is and why you added it in?
So that part was Caleb's idea actually. Like he has the weirdest ideas sometimes, and Taylor was trying to check him on it and was like, "No, don't put that in." But he was like fighting for it, and we were like, "Yeah, let's put it in." But it's just really a kind of like a callback to a lot of like classic R&B joints that do random skits kind of like in this middle of their song. So we were thinking specifically Alicia Keys' "You Don't Know My Name."
Okay,
There's like
yeah.
a whole like 2 minute or something skit of her like talking on the phone to this dude asking like about are we going to see each other, you like your milk or your coffee with milk, and all that whatever. And so we were just like, okay, let's just do that because we love putting R&B stuff, and we were like, this is an R&B trope that like so many songs have, and we have to mention it because a lot of people think it's this. But like the skit at the end of Dance Gavin Dance's Blue Dream,
Mm-hmm.
that's like a part of the trope.
What
So it's
color
like
are your
we didn't
fucking
go for
eyes?
like that vibe, but that also does do, what we were thinking of when bringing in like the R&B like stylings into the song.
And speaking of callbacks to other musical songs, today I didn't even realize this when I asked you to do the show, but today happens to be Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. Do you remember the
Yeah.
21st night of September? And I read somewhere in an interview that 21st night actually took inspiration from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes, that it did. The chorus line is referring to it directly, and Caleb, when he it's another one from him because he does a lot of our, main writing. But
Right.
so he was in his dorm room on the 21st of September, like 5 years ago, and just feeling like total shit, like depression. We all got depression here and there,
Yeah,
and so he was feeling like shit. But September by Earth, Wind, and Fire is like one of the happiest songs in existence, right? So it's like
absolutely.
on on this day, you would think that you would be somewhat happy trying to celebrate that, but not even that could like pull him out of it. So he just wrote that song out of that, kind of like the contrast to that. Like there is another side to it, but it's still a hopeful, you know, kind of ending. That's why like they keep on keeping on repeats at
Yeah,
the ending. Because it's just like you do want to get out of it to get to, what Earth, Wind and Fire are doing in that song, where you can celebrate just existing.
absolutely. So some of my favorite Pulses tracks are, I don't know if you pronounce it six exclamation part or six factorial, but I used to think that it was called Witness before I even knew the track name. But that one, the whole concept of just singing about someone cracking their knuckles and how it annoys you. Because I know one of my ex-girlfriend, I crack my elbows a lot and my
Oh
knuckles, and
God,
like I couldn't do it close enough to the mic. But yeah, I could just like stretch my arms out, my elbows, and she hated that. And she would
I
always
get it.
say, "If you crack your knuckles one more time, I swear to God." And then that song just got me. I was like, "Oh my God, like I'm living this." But I think my
That's
favorite
wild.
line in any of your guys' songs are "Mom says I can play the Xbox," because that's like a meme. And
Yep.
I'm a huge meme guy. I have over 4,000 friends on my Facebook, and most of them are because random people add me because I share a lot of memes. So it's always great to see like a meme reference somewhere.
That's awesome. Yeah, we love memes too. I mean, like just viral videos, even if they're like not extremely viral, like, mom said I could play the Xbox or anything, but like we'll just throw in little clips here and there. Like the one that comes in later on that same song, the She Had a Pocket. Like that's
Mm.
one of our favorite like just viral clips of like that dude like having a rant and then somebody auto-tuned it, and it's insane, but like we love having the humor in the music too because I think that's important.
So, I want to say like 8 years ago, I used to actually DJ at places. I was a dubstep DJ. I would produce
Oh
my own
nice.
songs and like mix stuff in. And my favorite thing was putting like stupid little clips in front of before the song came on or before the drop. Like I remember one
Yeah.
of them I did was like "Welcome to Good Burger," and then boom, the drop would happen. Or so it's great to
Nice.
see other musicians incorporating that into their work too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Why not?
So you play the drums. Tell us about how did you start playing the drums?
I started playing drums because of Rock Band, like the video game.
I
So,
started playing guitar because of Guitar Hero. So look at that.
hell yeah. Like, and I think a lot of people in this generation are gonna start saying that. Like a lot of times before, it was the standard. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but the standard. Oh, my parent taught me, or or I took lessons first, or whatever. But I think we're starting to see more and more people that are just like, this game like changed my perspective on playing instruments, and got me interested in doing it. And then you went to lessons and blah blah blah. But like, yeah, if I didn't play Rock Band, I wouldn't be in this band or playing anything because Rock Band was super fun. Started playing medium, escalated really quick. Playing expert, playing most of the hard songs pretty well. And I was like, yeah, I should probably try to do this for real. Then I started playing drums for real, and it's like all self-taught, minus a little bit. Like I took like a year of lessons just for like foundation,
Hmm.
but it was really pretty much that limb independence that Rock Band taught me that kind of got me going. And listening to a lot of other drummers play and figuring out how they like to do their things and figuring out what beats I liked and just repetition over time. So,
That's hilarious because I have a similar story. So I started playing Rock Band when Rock Band Guitar Hero when Guitar Hero 2 came out. I want to
mhm.
say '06, '07. I just remember I was in high school and I got it really quick. Like I started on medium and I quickly shot up to expert, but then I was ranked 25 in the world on the leaderboards for Guitar
Oh,
Hero
nice.
2. Like I was
That's
really good.
what.
I could play on expert without looking, and I thought I was the shit. I thought I was the best. So I would always show my friends and be like, "That's impressive. Now play it on real guitar." And I'd be like, "Shut up, like
Yeah,
no." So
that's the
my
age old
dad,
one.
he plays bass and guitar, and he's like a really he plays very very well. I guess I don't.
Hmm.
He's an English teacher too, so he'd be mad at me for saying it that way. But so I decided actually I wanted to play guitar, and then I was a little discouraged because he played guitar, and I didn't want everyone to be like, "Oh, you're just following your dad." I don't know. I thought it was because everybody knew me at my school because my dad was the teacher there, so I felt kind of like, oh, I have to play guitar. So I really wanted to play drums. And my parents were both like, no, with a guitar, you can plug headphones into the amp. With drums, we got to hear it. So they got me the guitar, and then I started playing. And I'm not in a band anymore. I used to be in a band. We were called I Can See My House From Here.
Oh, nice.
but it never really went anywhere. But yeah, it's funny how Rock Band and guitar, like how it disappeared too. Like you don't see people much.
Yeah,
You see Clone Hero where people play online, but that's like such a niche thing.
right. I mean, it's really with the onset of how rock music kind of faded out of the mainstream as hip hop grew a lot. And it's just like rock music's kind of making a sort of a comeback with like all these new kids and Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that. But like, I mean, maybe we could see Rock Band get some money back and in their pockets and give us a new game with some new peripherals. But I don't know. I mean, I know that's why like it kind of faded out and became
Yeah,
a really rich thing. But
it was
I'm still here,
expensive.
still playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I still have my memory card. I like when you full clear something, it'll turn the stars to gold. Well, it
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
Or yeah, I have my memory card with every song except for Jordan by Buckethead full
of
cleared.
course.
I have that saved somewhere.
That's
Speaking of
awesome.
memes and Machine Gun Kelly, I know that was before, but you know how when MGK dissed Eminem, he stopped rapping and went to kind of like a pop punk kind of sound.
Yep,
So someone said, "Oh, I heard MGK dissed Slipknot. I can't wait for his country album to come out next year."
right. I mean, I can see it happening.
I just thought that was hilarious. I think the whole Slipknot MGK thing is blown out of proportion. He was just being stupid, and now like everybody's talking about it. I think it's just like a stunt for him to try to get more
Oh
views
yeah,
and
no, it's
stuff.
it's it's most likely that. Like I could see him dropping a single within the next month
Yeah,
just cuz.
seriously. Oh man. Do you have? I know you guys tour a lot. Maybe have toured. Do you have
We
any
have
interesting
toured
tour stories?
once.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
But it was great. It was as actually funny enough, the 2-year anniversary to that tour today.
Oh wow, look
The
at
first
that.
date. Yeah. That was 2019 with our besties with Sales Ahead. Another
Nice.
progressive post-hardcore band who are sick as fuck.
That's awesome. Do you have any like I don't know anything weird or crazy or scary that if you don't like not everybody does.
Weird, crazy, scary, all of those. Yeah. Let's see. Crazy was this one basement that we played in North Carolina, just not finished, and a lot of like what you call it, I can't even think of the word, just a lot of like inner workings of a building that should be covered up by drywall were just like kind of floating around, and it was really hard to breathe, and we still
Oh,
played the show there. So that was interesting and probably not advised.
you
But
probably inhaled some asbestos there.
yeah, it was like definitely need to get tested, but that was pre-pandemic. The other kind of tested after that. But what else happened? We almost, not almost, because it's like that. I don't want to say almost got robbed, but like there was a dude walking around like our vans, like asking questions to the other guys and with sales ahead. And if they weren't there, I swear to God, we would have got like something.
Yeah,
Something would
I
have
don't know
happened.
if you follow other bands on Facebook at all, but I've noticed a lot of bands who just started touring again, their whole someone's whole trailer got stolen,
Yeah,
someone's car got
Kaonashi.
broken into.
Kaonashi got their
Yup,
trailer stolen. Who was it? Adventurer, I think.
yup.
Got Yeah, they got their bag stolen like from their car. Saw another one in the UK even like got their trailer stolen, but they got it back, which was wild.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but I don't
crazy.
know. It's
How
it's it's just like insane.
like how low I mean I'm not gonna assume they're a crackhead, but like how low do you gotta be that oh I see something through the window, I gotta take it now and like you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know. People are
I mean,
people
it's
are fucked
you
up.
got to be down pretty bad, I think, for people to steal from a band because it's like y'all don't bands don't even make that much money anyway, really. Like unless you're big, so it's just like to steal from like Adventurer or Kaonashi who are just like on the rise. Like you're not getting anything, but you know, I don't know, a couple $1,000 maybe. I don't know. You could probably get a good amount if you stole the whole trailer, but
Yeah.
I still think it's just like why take from somebody that's not doing anything but entertaining. Like it's not. There's no point in that. There's no like you don't really gain anything cool. Like I don't know. People that steal shit from non corporations are just fucky people to me. I just can't do it.
I totally agree with that. So recently I saw you posted, well, I saw it on the advertisement for the show, but you posted a picture of you on stage. It was Blue Ridge, right?
Yes, Blue
And you
Ridge
got to
Rock
like
Festival.
play on the same stage as like Spirit Box, like that
Yes.
must be a great feeling. Like how was that?
It was insane. Like outside of like the insanity of that festival,
Yeah, I
like
heard it
being
was
kind of
super
weird.
scuffed.
Outside of that, it was still insane to even be there and just be a part of it. Like we really shouldn't have been on main stage. I don't know how we got pushed up there, but
You guys
um,
deserve it.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no
It
problem.
was just great.
One of my ex-girlfriends, I dated her when I started listening to you guys, so like I played you guys a lot, and I hadn't like played you since like I don't really talk to. I talk to her sometimes, but not really. You know, we're just friends or whatever. But the other
Right.
day, she was like, "Oh, I went to Blue Ridge, and don't you like this band Pulses? They were there. I can't believe it." And I was just like,
Oh
"Wow, like
shit.
they're getting bigger." Like,
That's wild.
yeah,
It is like it feels that way because like we said on stage there, like as far as like our post COVID, like not post like it's done, but after they let us out from COVID, we played a house show, then we played a DIY bar, then we played Baltimore Soundstage, which is like one of the cooler venues in Baltimore, at least to me,
yeah.
and then we played Blue Ridge. So it's just like insane, like the growth that we've had as
Hmm.
far as playing out in like the last like 2 or 3 months even. So
Yeah,
maybe we
especially
are doing things.
post-pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just blessed to be out here, honestly, and still doing it and still making moves going up.
Another thing I wanted to touch on is you guys recently were on Opulence with I Met a Yeti. You were on their song.
Yes,
A
great
funny
song.
thing I just realized today, I was, just pulling up some YouTube videos of Pulses because I wanted to like show that clip for the show or whatever, and I noticed
Hmm.
Daisy, the lead singer, commented on your guys' stuff 3 years ago on YouTube. Hey, keep making music, you're great, or something like that. And I was like, wow, they're on a
Yeah.
track together. Like, how did that come to be? And how many of you guys were like, were you all on the track, or only like some of you?
So that came to be because I mean, just over time, we've tried to be really cool with everybody that's in our scene and talk to everybody whenever we can. And Daisy's like one of the sweetest people out here, and her band is sick as hell.
Oh yeah, I'm having them
So
on
we
next
just
week actually.
sweet. That's awesome because I will
Yeah,
be tuning in for that for sure because I love
awesome.
to hear what they're doing. But yeah, they just reached out to us, and you know, Matt and Caleb are the ones doing vocals on it, and I wrote the lyrics for it since I tend to write lyrics most of the time. So it is just them, but you put featuring pulses because you got to get the whole thing and the
Right.
algorithms and all that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was just like great. Honestly, I'm really happy that they let us just be us on the track because it is kind of like a foolish little feature that we did, but I think it's really fun and just it's really cool to just have like the camaraderie of just being out here with other bands and making music together and it's not a competition. It's just for fun.
I really love the contrast of the lyrics. You have Daisy with like her cryptic but like super deep like lyrics about whatever's going on. You have to try to figure it out, and then you guys are just like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Like, I think that's a great
Yeah.
showing like both your guys' strengths, and then the coming together of it all is just an amazing concept.
Yeah, I wanted to like make sure that we had a bit of our playfulness still going on and the stuff, but throw in a little thing that would kind of fit thematically with what Daisy did because Daisy is a great lyricist, and I didn't want to like jock her shit, but I was
Right.
like I have to be us still.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't feel like just a I Met a Yeti song. It feels like I Met a Yeti and Pulses came together and made
Yeah,
a song. Yeah.
exactly.
What are some of your guys' influences? I know you've probably been asked this a lot, and I know what you're gonna say, but
I always talk about influences. It's important to talk about influences because like there's Daryl Palumbo from Glassjaw who is an influence for sure. Said something to the effect of like, "What are we but the sum of our influences?" Like that.
it's a
That's
great quote.
really all it is. It's like I can't
Yeah.
be anything but what I've listened to, in my years of listening to music. So it's just like I'm influenced by stuff from like way back in the day, not way back, but like back in the day, like Thursday and like old Fall of Troy and things like that, and old DGD and Silverstein are great mainstays in like the post-hardcore genre that we love to pull from. But we're also influenced by like Kanye West and Lil Uzi Vert and Playboy Cardi here and there, and it's just like whatever like we're listening to. We're influenced by R&B like Earth, Wind and Fire or Frank Ocean or like anything that just is doing something cool for us. Pharrell Williams is like one of our favorite artists, and then even like David pulls in a lot of stuff that me and Caleb don't really pull from, like Rush or like progressive metal. Like he likes Acacia Strain a lot. Not that they're progressive metal, but he likes Acacia Strain a lot, and like stuff that's like heavy as fuck that I don't really listen to all the time. Like we share like Between the Buried and Me love, but it's like I don't listen to like all the stuff that he listens to.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like we have a really wide smorgasbord of like influences and genres that we try to meld together if it works out, but not everything works out, not everything shows, but we're influenced by a whole lot of different
I
things.
was gonna say a lot of the bands that you just mentioned, like even though they're all different genres, you can see that in your guys' music. Like this kind of sounds like this person, or not really like to the
Hmm.
effect of it feels like you're copying them, but it feels like you
Right.
took inspiration from them.
Yeah, and I think it's okay, like if like we wear that shit on our sleeve, because it's just like I want you to know that I liked making a song with a metalcore breakdown that also goes into like I don't know, something that could have came out of Carly Rae Jepsen's last record or something. Like I want you to know that that's what I came from. So
Like
that's why we
Deep
have these
Dive.
like we have these Spotify playlists that list everything that we were listening to at the
Oh, that's
time of like
awesome.
recording it. Yeah, so it's just like I want you to know that I liked that at that time.
So I want to go into something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm pretty sure it's near and dear to your heart. Emo night.
Mm-hmm.
I started going to emo night
Let's
right
do it.
before the pandemic, and it was a completely different concert experience. Because when you're
Yeah.
going to concerts, you're going to see this band or this genre, and it's just like nostalgia. Like I think nowadays nostalgia is a huge factor, like a huge thing to people because the world is getting so bad. You want to remember an easier, simpler time, and
Right.
just being able to go out and sing Paramore, Fall Out Boy, The Used, brand new with a group of 100 people all together in the same like, and these are all different people. Like some of them look
Right.
like they wouldn't be into the music. Some of them look like some popular kid at school, and just everyone coming together. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's a party to me. Like every time they come around, it's like we missed the last one in Baltimore, but we will be there at the next one, hopefully
Okay,
guesting, but we'll see.
I have a
Don't
question
quote
for
me on that.
you, but I want to ask first. Can I show the wig before I ask about it?
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
yeah, sure.
Hold on. So this right here is Kevin's wig for emo night, him in his Fall Out Boy shirt. I think that was hilarious. The first time I saw you post that, I was like, this dude's really getting into it.
Oh yeah.
Where did you get that wig? Did you just go? Did you just decide, hey, I'm gonna wear this wig?
Amazon. Amazon. I was looking at I remember like the first time that I got the wig was actually not even for emo night. It was for like I think Halloween like a while before I even started going to them. And it
Hmm.
was like a shorter wig and it was cool. Like I wore it for that costume and like the costume was a hit, but then I just dropped it. But then emo night came around and I was like, you know what? Let me just get it. Well, first I'll say like, and I'm sure because Taylor might be listening. Taylor drug me to emo night. I wasn't really like down with it at first, and I went, and then I had a great time, and then I was like, all right, now I'm all in. But after that, that's when I was like, all right, this old wig doesn't really fit that much because it's too short. Let me get a longer one. So I went and looked up just wigs all over, like for like a good like 30 minutes, just looking up wigs, and just found this one on Amazon that was like solid. And I literally wore that for like the last 3 years of going to emo night.
I think it looks great. You can't even tell that it's not your hair.
A lot of people don't know that it's not my hair. At least, well,
Spoiler.
now they do. A lot of like the regulars now they know that it's
Hmm.
not. But like people for like at least the first year and a half would come up to me like, "Yo, you straightened your hair." I'm like, "No, I didn't."
That's hilarious. Do you have any crazy emo night stories? I have one, but
Go ahead. You can say
yeah.
yours.
So my ex-girlfriend did the same thing to me. She's like, "Oh, I've been to a couple emo nights. They're so great. You should come." And I was like, "Well, I like that music, but I don't see like the appeal. Like, I guess I'll go." So she dragged me too,
Right,
and I had such a great time. And I've known to partake in the alcohol when I'm at some
right,
emo
right.
nights, and she doesn't drink, so she would be the designated driver. She said, just don't black out, but go ahead and have fun. So I'm like 6 or 7 beers deep, like the big cups of beer, not like little beers. So, I'm feeling myself, and she comes up to me and she's like, so she had a 2021 car, like she just got it on
Mm,
lease or whatever, and it doesn't have a key. It has a little like fob, like a little, I don't know, a dongle. I guess you would call it.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
have to have it inside the car in order for the car to start. There's no other way to start the car.
Gotcha.
And she had it on a keychain that was like on her belt loop. So it's like we've been there for like 3 or 4 hours, maybe like 5 hours. Like it was a long emo night. It's towards the end of the night. It's like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Right.
And she goes,
Yeah.
I can't find my car thing. And I
Oh
start
no.
freaking out because I'm drunk and I'm at first I'm just like, oh, whatever. Then I'm like, how are we gonna get home? I want to go to sleep. I can't be here anymore. So that we had to search, and then we had to have the host on stage be like, oh, did anybody find blah blah blah. And
Hmm.
eventually we found it an hour later, but I
Oh
like
jeez.
went into a little mental breakdown of like I don't know because I was drunk and not thinking. I was like, do I have to stay here tonight? Like, there's no comfortable place to sleep. I don't want to sleep in the car.
Right.
There's four. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, that was
That's
definitely an
insane, but I'm
adventure.
glad you got it back though.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm thinking I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of things over the course of emo nights that I've been to that have happened, especially like emo night Baltimore is like a rowdy one, I think. Emo night Philly is super rowdy too.
Yeah,
Like
I
I've been
went to
up
that
there
one. I went
for
to
them.
Emo Night Philly, and I went to Emo Night that I just have like here,
Uh-huh.
in my I live in New York. I live in
Okay.
Huguenot. It's like the middle of nowhere, but there's
Gotcha.
this place called Newburgh. It's actually
Uh-huh.
where Coheed and Cambria wrote their first album. There's a recording
Oh
studio
hell
there.
yeah. That's
But
awesome.
yeah, they actually played a show at the place I went for emo night. It's the Newburgh Brewery. It's like this little tiny brewery. Not a lot of people are supposed to be in there, and I can't believe Coheed.
Right.
Anyways, I also went to emo night in the city. I think Hammerstein Ballroom, and the lead singer of what's the song? The band with the song "Jamie All Over."
Oh,
Mayday
Mayday Parade.
Parade. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He had his own solo stuff out, and there was
Oh
like
yeah.
a table with all these wristbands that were for his thing, and I
Hmm.
sat down by the table because I didn't want to stand up while I was waiting for the show, and all these girls kept coming over to me, be like, "Can I have a bracelet? I love your music." And I guess they thought I was him because I was by the merch table, so I was just
That's
like,
wild.
"Yeah, absolutely, enjoy the show."
Got
But
to take that opportunity.
that was definitely the biggest emo night I've been to. I think there was like 500 people there or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the like kind of mid-range ones, like the ones at Baltimore. Like the Autobar is a great venue, just period.
hmm
And having emo night there is just like it's killer. And being a part of like the the DJs that play or like that like play the music and everything, and just
hmm
being part of that collective is really cool. Like I enjoy being a part of that like band of people as much as I do pulses. So
So two of the emo nights I went to are tied for like my favorite one. One of them was in this town called Poughkeepsie. There's a venue there called the Chance, but it wasn't at the Chance. It was like some bar down the street from it. But I've seen so many bands there. But it was a live band playing the songs, and it was emo night
mm,
karaoke. They had the list of whatever songs they're willing to play, and then the words would come up on the screen, and you would be the lead singer, and they would actually play the songs. I thought that was pretty incredible.
that is wild. Yeah, I have seen a couple of those go on like at various places. I think there was one in Baltimore too that did that kind of a thing, but I've
The
never been to those emo nights.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. Like, cause for me, I've only played on stage when I DJ'd, and it wasn't even a stage. It was like a couple of raves in the city. So I've never like actually played. Or when I did my band thing, it was like this small venue called Sounds Asylum that could fit like 30 people maybe. So I've never been in front of a lot of people, and there was like 150 people there. It's just like the shock and like the nervousness, but then like getting over it when you're having a good time playing in front of people is
Mm.
just pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like being in a live band, like a
Exactly.
regular
I
ass
would say
live
you should
band.
know.
Yeah,
But
totally. They're the same thing.
the
Performing is fun, whether or not you're performing your own stuff or not.
the other emo night I went to, I don't even remember what city it was in. I want to say it was somewhere in Pennsylvania, but I don't know. Anyways, we get there and it's this bar, and it's like a upscale ritzy bar. Like they have champagne and like diamonds hanging from the ceiling. Like everyone's wearing suits, and I'm just like, are we at the right place? Like, so I sat there for a minute with my ex-girlfriend, and we're both like, should we leave? So we go over and we ask the bartender, "Hey, we're here for the emo night, but it doesn't seem like we're in the right place." She's like, "Oh no, you are. Just go through those doors and go down the stairs." And in the basement of this place, like the nasty, dirty, grimy basement. They had a couple of bands set up, and they were playing some emo songs before the bands came on, but then the bands
Mm.
did like 5 covers and then one original, and there was like 3 different bands, and I thought that was a cool concept, like being able to do what everyone came here for, like playing emo night, but then playing one of their own songs to kind of like let them know, hey, we also make music.
Yeah, I mean that's actually kind of a funny segue that we can go into. It's like we have Pulses has a show that we're playing at Cover Fest, or not Cover Fest, but a cover night
Hmm.
on Halloween, where we're all
Oh,
like going to
nice.
play as different bands. So we're going to play as Silverstein for the night. So we get to play a bunch of Silverstein joints and then play a Pulses song at the end.
That's awesome. Do you have any idea what songs you might play yet?
Yeah, we have those. I can't give them away because we
Nope,
haven't.
that's
We
okay.
don't want to tell everybody. Well, I can tell one. We're gonna play "Smile in Your Sleep" because
Obviously, that's what I
obviously,
was gonna
but
ask. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
mostly classic stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't. I used to listen to them when the Arrivals and Departures came out, and that changed like how I listen to music. Because once I started listening to them, I got into like Chiodos and The Devil Wears
Hmm.
Prada and Alisana, but Silverstein's definitely the ones that got me into it.
Yeah, they are a classic, legendary band, and we are forever indebted to them. So we were like, yeah, let's pay tribute through this set.
So I've never like sat down with a group of friends and recorded a song before. Can you tell me like what the process is like? How does it go from, hey, let's write a song to finished song?
Um, let's see. It's like kind of different a lot of the times, but most of the time, I would say it's really like, at least for us, and I think it's kind of different for every band, but for us, it's like, okay, someone goes into Guitar Pro, like a tab software, and
Mhm.
just like writes out some tabs and figures something out, and then they're like, hey, I've done what I can do on this. Anybody else want to jump in? And then other people jump in, whether or not they're writing their own parts or like other people's parts, because that can happen too. They'll just kind of go in and we'll all just kind of like finish it either together in person. We'll talk about it and tab it out in front of each other, or we'll just be separate and tap things out and work it out that way. And we'll get the instrumental kind of locked in. And usually after that, we'll demo it a little bit and then kind of write vocals after that.
Okay.
We're still kind of playing around with the process. I think we're gonna like, I don't know. We're not gonna like redo the process, but we're like refining it as we go this time around.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, generally it kind of ends up like that. Like someone starts it, everybody kind of jumps in, pals it, finishes the instrumental out, writes vocals after. Lyrics kind of come with that most
Hmm.
of the time, or lyrics can come first and then a vocal comes out of the lyrics sometimes. But yeah, that's usually how the process goes. And then like when we're trying to record it for real, we do all that ourselves. So we have our little basement studio now, kind of like a little bit there, at least enough to like start recording things. And
That's really impressive,
so
though.
we'll just like throw it down. Yeah, thanks. It's like we're really trying to just do it and save as much money as we can, but also still make it not suck. So we'll see how
um,
things go for LP3.
yeah, absolutely. Um, how does writing lyrics go for you? Like, do you just sit down and say, I think I'm gonna write? Like, I know it's not just we need to write lyrics, boom, 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 done. But like, do you just like get ideas from somewhere, or just start playing around with stuff, or how does that work?
For me, it's usually like I'll just like I'll sit down and try like focus on writing lyrics every once in a while. Usually it works sometimes if I'm like feeling motivated, but most of the time it doesn't. Motivation kind of just seems to just come out of nowhere. Like if I'm listening to like a cool ass song and then I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about this concept and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to write it in this kind of way where it's like, oh, maybe it's like a rap lyric or maybe it's like some moody emo type shit. It'll manifest that way, and then I just pick up my phone and just put it in notes like really quick.
So
um
the not to cut you off.
no, you're good.
First off, I'm probably going to cut you off a lot. I have ADHD, and when I think of
All
something,
good.
I just comes out. So if I do that, I apologize. You can call me out on it
No
if you want.
problem.
But a big part of I've been planning this podcast for about a month, but I haven't actually reached out to people to talk to them until a
Mm.
couple days ago. The whole way this started was I was lying in bed. I smoked a little bit of weed, trying to fall asleep, and I just had the idea of like, let's do a podcast. And I wrote the script for the first 2 episodes on my
Nice.
phone in Samsung Notes. So
Exactly. I mean, that's the same kind of deal where it's just like, I mean, most of I don't smoke weed, not really, not at all.
I
If
use it to
anybody listening,
help me fall asleep
I
at night.
drink.
Yeah.
What? Say again? I
Oh,
missed it.
I said I usually smoke weed to help me fall asleep at night, or like if I'm hanging out with friends
Makes
and stuff.
sense.
I'm not like I have to do it all day and I need it. Like it's cool to have, but
Yeah.
it's great to be able to put stuff on notes on the phone because I don't want to get up and turn my computer on and type everything out because by that point the
Exactly.
idea's gone from my head.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like just the fact that it's always on you is just it makes it easier to just get stuff out. Like I have a lot of notes on there that'll just be like maybe 2 lines, 4 lines, maybe a chorus or something, and then
Mhm.
that's the whole note. And then other notes I'm just like going, 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 and I write like 2 verses in a bridge or whatever, you know. It just depends on like what's happening at the time and like maybe what I've done that week or if I'm like going through it or something.
And
Or if I listen to a cool ass song and I'm like, yo, I'm inspired. You know?
yeah, the thing about the human brain is it's so much easier to forget something than you think it is. So I've recently
Oh
been
yeah.
working on making hyperpop music. I don't know if you're familiar with
Oh
hyperpop,
nice. Yeah, that's cool.
like 100 gex and
Yeah,
tracks.
yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I've been
Pink
making the
Panthers, I
beats.
think. Yeah.
I'm sorry, say again.
Pink Panthers has that one TikTok song that
Yeah.
I really like. So
Yep. But I've been working on the beats and stuff, and that end, it's a no-brainer since I used to DJ. I'm so familiar with Fruity Loops. But I'll
hmm
be lying. I always find the best ideas come to me when I'm trying to go to sleep. So I'll be
yeah, I
lying
mean
in bed
often.
just thinking about like lyrics, and I'll have a whole verse and chorus in my head. I'll be like, "Oh, great! I'll remember that tomorrow." And then I go to
Nope.
sleep, and it's like I should have put that in notes.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. I've done that too many times, and I'll still
Hmm.
keep doing it. I'm sure from here forward. But like when I think of something, I got to put it down, like or like in some way, or else it's gone.
I
Like I have a
remember that the hard way.
notoriously terrible memory. So
Yeah, I feel because you think, "Oh, I'm thinking of it now. I'll totally remember it." It's like learning someone's name. Like once they tell you your name, you're like, "Okay, cool," and then 2 seconds later, you're like, "Wait, what was it again?"
I am awful with names. Like you have to tell
Mm.
me multiple times, or we have to do like a specific event that like makes me remember it.
Yeah, I remember people more with like their face or like something that happened, like you said, like a specific event. I'm like, oh, you're, beer tab guy, or you're, girl fell over in the bathroom lady or something.
Exactly. And
Um,
there's nothing wrong with that.
exactly. So what music are you currently listening to right now? Like, what do you like to put on and just
Well,
listen to?
at least currently, the new Idola and the new Spirit Box record
Yes.
are
Oh, I
like
haven't
both
heard the Spirit
phenomenal.
Box one yet, but
Oh, you
the
got
Idola
to.
one is great.
Yeah, Idola kicked it. Like they knocked it out of the park. It's just like I love to speak to listen a lot,
Hmm.
but I never really listened to it because it was like not necessarily a chore, but it's like this is the thinking man's post
Yeah,
hardcore, and I'm like,
it's the Rick
so
and
it's just
Morty
like,
of Porsche hardcore.
so it was nice for the architect to be like a little bit reined in on that and a little bit more catchy. I think so. I think they really did a good job, and like having Sergio in the mix. I know Andrew still wrote a lot of it, but having Sergio in the mix kind of just changed the tones up a little bit, and I think yeah, it was a very solid way to go. So I'm, stoked for the next one whenever that comes out, but I'm gonna keep enjoying this one.
So I
So
tried getting real when To Speak to Listen came out. I actually saw Idola at a concert with DGD before To Speak to Listen came out, and then it came
mm,
out, so I got really into them. But you're right, it's like a chore. I didn't know this, but when I was researching it, all their albums are like concept albums and supposed to
yep,
tell a story, and
yeah,
it's a continuation of the previous story on the new album, I think, or something like that.
yeah. It's like I think this is the end of that segment because it's
Right.
like I know on the first one there's a song I think called "The Artist and the Architect," I think something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yes.
And so now there's like a song on the Architect called "Artist Something." I forget the name, but it's just like yeah, it's like an overarching thing that just has a lot to do with like um religion and like understanding your place in spirituality and everything like that. And so I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking cool thing to do
Yeah.
and more power to you, but like I can't bump that like every day.
Yeah,
Like that's just not
seriously.
how I function. So
I
shout out to Idol. They're one of the best. We've opened for them like twice and Andrew's like a kick ass dude, like
go listen
even
to the
before he
Architect.
got swole. Like, like
Yeah. Oh, he's so
So
nice. I
shout out
met
to him.
him at a DGD concert, and there was like a bunch of people around him, but he was like by the divider where like they
Hmm.
were
He always
putting up
loves
the
talking to
bands.
people.
Yeah, and I was
He's
waiting
so
there
good.
for like 10 or 15 minutes because I don't want to be rude and go in front of the other people. But he noticed I was waiting, so he came out from around and like walked around. Everyone was like, "Hey man, you've been here for a while. Like, you want a picture? You want an autograph?" Like, it was so
So yeah,
wholesome.
he's great. He's awesome. I'm glad you had that moment with him because it's just like Caleb actually took vocal lessons from him like a
Wow.
while ago. So it's just like we've kind of talked here and there like whenever he's in town and whenever we actually get the chance to open for him and everything, and it's just he's just a great human being and
I
super talented, just as talented as he is like super nice.
Oh yeah, like right now with Tillian having COVID, he had to take over for lead vocals, and I know
Yeah.
some fans aren't excited about that, but from the people that have
Oh, I
actually
was
seen it,
stoked.
yeah, like from the people that have actually seen it, they're like, it doesn't take anything away from the show. If anything, Andrew's voice is amazing, and it's just
Yeah, no,
so cool that he
Andrew's
can
got
do
it.
that.
Yeah, it's like I wish they would play them in a way that he could sing them better because like Tillian's stuff is a little bit out of his range because
Hmm.
he has to like falsetto it a lot. But
Yeah.
it's just like he's holding it down and he's looks like he's having fun doing it in every clip that I've seen, posted. So
I
shout out to him.
actually went to a Hail the Sun concert one time, and it was like the first day, and Donovan was still with Sayanvar, who I saw a few nights before, and it was going to be the one concert that he wouldn't be on because he was flying from wherever Sayanvar were to where the
Hmm.
Hail the Sun, and Andrew did the vocals for Hail the Sun, and that was
Oh,
pretty,
that's insane. I
yeah.
didn't even hear about that.
Hmm. It was definitely like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Or maybe it's the other way
Yeah,
around. Maybe I was seeing Cianvar and he did vocals
and
for them and I just seen Hill. It was one of the two.
either way, it still sounds pretty impressive.
Yeah, and speaking of, we were talking about Sergio being on Idol before. He has such like a huge talent. I can't believe he's in so many bands.
Yeah, he is the like what is it? I just lost the word for it. Swiss Army knife. There we
Yeah,
go.
there
He
you
is the
go.
Swiss Army knife of the scene. So like he's holding it down in so many different lanes, but doing his thing in all of them.
Like I know the whole Swan core scene like isn't the biggest, but like it's pretty big and it's just
It's
amazing how
growing. It's
many.
growing a lot.
Yeah, I remember I started listening to Dance Gavin Dance when Downtown Battle Mountain 1 came out. I want to say 2008, 2009,
Yeah, that's
and
old. It's
it
even before me.
the first time I saw them, it was a crowded upstairs venue called the Loft. It wasn't even where they had their main concerts; they had their side
Hmm.
concerts, and it was a local band called At the Throne of Judgment. It was Happiness era Dance Gavin Dance with Kurt after John had left, and like
Nice.
Zach Guerin on the guitar
Yeah.
and Eric Lodge on bass. Yeah, and then The Devil Wears Prada right
Yeah.
when Plagues came out, and Drop
Perfect.
Dead Gorgeous.
Oh yeah. That
And
that's a classic lineup.
that's such like an amazing, it was such an amazing show, and with like 30 people, like it's so crazy to see where they are now. I saw Devil Wears Prada with like thousands of people.
Yeah. It
It's
is insane.
crazy to think how big like you can get.
Oh yeah, making some weird music.
Absolutely. Do you play any video games in your free time, or do you do anything in your free time besides making
Often.
music?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I listen to a lot of music in my free time, but yeah, video games. It's like I mean, I grew up on that. Like, um, currently on Twitch, we're playing Final Fantasy X. We need to get back to
Nice.
that actually. But as far as me not on Twitch, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake a lot.
I
I've
heard
been
it's not
playing.
that good.
I like it a lot actually. It's not if you went into it expecting Final Fantasy VII again,
Hmm.
then no, yeah, it's like it's
Right.
not
Yeah, it's
that.
like a different
But
game.
like yeah, it's an entirely different because I mean, it's one, it's not turn based anymore, and then two, it's like the full like story being retold in a way in that you're getting like the key events of seven with a little bit more story to kind of make it work in a modern setting. So yeah, it's just like if you're a purist, don't play it, but you should
Um,
play it anyway because it's like a good functional game, you know.
Absolutely. I want to hear the rest of the games you're playing, but I really quick wanted to say shout out to my aunt. Back in 1997, when I was like 7 years old. It was Christmas. I had a PlayStation 1, and she got me Final Fantasy 7, and she said, "This guy's got a big sword. It looks like something you would enjoy." And holy crap, that was like
Yeah.
my pinnacle of gaming. Like that's when I was like, holy crap, like RPGs are great. This has
Yep.
such an immersive story. 4 discs, or is it 3 discs? 3 discs, right? On the
It's
first,
three
yeah,
discs. Four,
three
I think, was
discs.
8.
And that was the first time I ever stayed up late to play video games. Because my first video games were like I had Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Then I
Classic.
got Crash Bandicoot and Marvel Superheroes on the
I
PlayStation.
love Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
That was
me
one of my
too.
first series.
But
Yeah.
I was all into fighting games and
Tekken
um,
was mine.
yeah. Oh, I still own Tekken 1, 2, and 3 on the PlayStation 1. Not the greatest hits versions, the first edition
The
versions.
OGs, yeah, nice.
But Final Fantasy 7 really got me into other types of games other than platformers and fighting games.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy is a great series. 10 is my favorite by far, but 7 is elite.
I would
So,
say 9 is my favorite only because I
that's a good one.
never beat 10.
That's fine. I mean, I
Um,
would go back and do it. Like, go play the HD
oh yeah,
remake. It's solid.
absolutely. My uncle had he bought an Xbox to be his DVD player. I don't know why, but he also had when the Xbox broke, he bought a PlayStation 2 for the same reason, and
Hmm.
he had Final Fantasy 10 because I guess he bought it on like this is before Facebook Marketplace, so I'll say eBay, and it came with
Right.
it, and that was the only time I would get to play it, and he lived all the way in New Jersey, so every time we visited him, I'd be like, "Hi everybody," I'd run downstairs to where his PlayStation was and just continue my save file for FF10. I got pretty
Nice.
far, but I never beat Sin.
Oh yeah, it's worth it. It's a good ending too.
Isn't
So,
there no level cap in 10? Can't you just like infinitely level?
well, like it's since the sphere grid system doesn't really technically have levels.
Mm-hmm.
You can complete the sphere grid, but it'll take a fuck ton of time. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't really feel like you'll end, but there's an end. It just takes hundreds of hours.
Okay. I want to talk about Tekken because Tekken is one of my all-time favorite games. I started with Tekken 1 and then I got 2 and then I got 3. So I've been here from the beginning. I love the
Right.
story and it's hilarious how what they looked like in 1 and 2. Like I don't know if you've ever played it,
Yeah, I've
but they're
played
like
them. Like,
polygons.
yeah, played them in arcades sometimes. Like, I
Yeah.
played 4 a lot back in the day, and I'm not like good or anything. I'm like average at best, but
Mm.
they were definitely a good time. I enjoyed the way that their like combo system and stuff was compared to like Street Fighter
Yeah, because
or
I
Mortal
grew up on
Kombat.
Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and then like, or because we had Street Fighter for the Super Nintendo and Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis, and then Tekken came out, and I was like, this is different. Like
Yeah,
this is
I'm not
great.
gonna lie though. As far as like fighters, I played Dragon Ball Z Budokai more than anything.
Yes. A funny story about that. My younger brother's birthday is December 16th. Mine is December 17th, and then my older half brother's birthday is December 18th.
Oh wow,
So
all in a and then
when
Christmas later.
Yeah, so first off, half of my gifts were Christmas presents and half my gifts were birthday presents, but I got the same
They
amount of
got you.
gifts as everyone else.
They got
Anyways, when my little brother was born, my birthday was in the hospital. Like that's where we celebrated it because that's where my mom
you.
was, and she got me Budokai Tenkaichi 2 or
Nice.
Budokai 2, not Tenkaichi, Budokai 2, the one with Vegeta on the cover for the
Oh,
PS2,
okay. Yeah.
and I wanted to go home and play it, and we had to wait for my mom to be ready to come home with the baby. I just remember being so mad at my brother being born that I couldn't play Dragon Ball Z.
Oh man, I understand though.
Yeah. Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, are you into anime at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a watcher. I'm not like into it, but I'm not against it or anything. I
Yeah.
watch whatever comes my way, but I don't really like go out of my way for it.
I remember when I was younger, it was much more prevalent to me. Like Toonami got me really into
Yeah,
Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and
yeah. It's like I did watch Toonami here and there. Definitely mostly Dragon Ball, and then like as far as like current stuff, it's like I've watched Attack on Titan, but I haven't finished it. I watched One Punch Man, but I haven't finished that either. And it's just like I don't know. It's just if I watch it with some people, then I'm more inclined to watch it. But
mhm.
I just don't like go out of my way for it. But it's there's a lot of cool shit happening. Like I watched
Yeah.
Naruto like a shit ton. Like most of Naruto. That was like
Mhm.
my thing back as like a kid. And I watched Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, of course. But it's yeah, it was just like very casual.
Yeah, I hear that. I used to be huge into anime. Like I had to wait for the next. So One Punch Man, when it first came out, season one is amazing. Season two, not so much. You don't
Hmm.
even need to watch it. But I remember waiting each week for it to come out like it was a new Marvel show or like
Right.
And now I'm not huge into anime, but about a month ago. I realized I'd never seen My Hero Academia and everyone was talking about it. So I sat down and ended up watching 50 episodes of it in 2 days and realized I needed to stop. But I'm not huge. Like I need to do that for every anime. It's just I got really into that one. But other than that, I haven't really been watching anime other than Attack on Titan. But that I still didn't even finish either.
Totally understand. Like
Uh,
it's anime. I don't know. I love anime, like for what it does, even if I don't like openly love anime.
I hear you. You're a appreciator, but you're not a weeb.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's the best way to say it. Are you big at all into like movies and TV shows? Like, are you a Marvel fan or anything?
I like Marvel movies. I mean, it's like it's really funny that like as far as just media goes, it's if it's not music or video games, I generally am like whatever. But at the same time, I do like movies. I do like TV. Like I have my favorites in them. Like we're as far as TV goes, it's like we're rewatching The Wire right now. It's like one of my
It's a
favorite
great
shows
show.
ever.
Yeah.
So it's just like I enjoy like the hits, but it's just like if you name like 10 classic movies, I probably saw like two of them. Like just because
Okay. I understand. I'm really big into movies, specifically horror movies are my absolute favorite. I know not everybody loves horror
Taylor
movies,
will
but
Taylor loves movies, so
I love
like
being scared.
I
So
don't see that's what I always tell Taylor whenever she's like trying to go to see a like a new horror movie. It's like why am I gonna pay somebody to scare myself? It's like I can do that myself. I turn on the news, I'll scare myself. It's like I don't need to.
just give me a night alone with my thoughts. I'll scare myself.
Exactly. It's like I'm gonna pay somebody to strike fear into my heart. I do it myself.
I get that. Yeah. No, it's not for everyone. See, my problem with any form of media, whether it be video games, music, movies, TV shows, is I have a personality where if I like something, I want to know everything about it. So I'm like a huge lore guy. So I've always kind of watched the Marvel movies because like I read some comic books as a kid and I saw, Iron Man and Thor and I saw all the Avengers stuff, but I wasn't like huge into it. Like I skipped over a bunch of the movies. I was just like I don't feel like watching it until WandaVision came out. And have you seen WandaVision at
Oh
all?
yeah, I actually have seen
Yeah,
WandaVision. That's like one of the few things.
when I watched that, I was just like, holy crap, there's like such a bigger thing going on and I had to like go back and rewatch all the Marvel movies and now I'm like all caught up to date. Actually, the new episode of What If comes out at 3 a.m. tonight. I can't wait for
Oh
that.
wow.
But so yeah, I've
Matt
gotten
really
too
likes
much
Marvel.
into it.
Matt's the Marvel guy in the band for sure. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
want to talk Marvel, you could talk to him.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. What have I've been um just trying to find more ways to pull creativity from. I guess that's
Yeah,
why I enjoy different genres of movies and music and TV shows. Like I like to see things from other people's perspectives to try to
exactly.
not relate it to myself, but I don't really know what I'm saying. I
You
guess
pull something, at
yeah.
least that's what I do whenever it's like I listen to a lot of at least music is my thing as far as like I feel like I try to be the most open about generally. I mean there are things I'm just like no. But like most often I'm just like okay, that new Casey Musgraves record came out. I got to try that out even though I'm not a country fan.
Mhm.
Or like I've heard or like country still. Chris Stapleton I've heard is like one of the cool dudes over there. So it's like I gotta pay attention, to what's going on in different lanes, just so maybe it'll spark something in me that'll bring out something that people need to hear or what have you. But it's definitely just good to be a little bit more worldly about, the media you consume.
Yeah, and it's crazy how getting older can make you appreciate things more. Like when I was younger, I would listen to. So when I was really little, like fourth grade, fifth grade, I was like, oh, I like Aaron Carter and 18s and Backstreet Boys and Avril Lavigne. Like that stuff's cool. And then as I got a little bit older, I got into like Linkin Park and Green Day, and then
Yeah,
eventually Fall Out Boy and like Panic at the Disco. And my mindset
nice.
was, oh, if you don't like this music, you could go f off and all of their music sucks. And then as I got older and like actually started playing instruments or just I was able to appreciate like classic rock, or I love classical music actually. A big thing I listen to sometimes is just
Yeah,
Vivaldi or whatever. And it's crazy
nice.
how when I was a kid, if I played some of this music for myself, I would have been like, ew, like what have I become? Like, okay, dad. Like
Right,
now it's like, oh, I don't like country music, but this person is like the highest country music star ever. Maybe I'll give it a listen, or you know what I mean? Like,
right.
oh man.
Yeah, it's
Um,
definitely good to branch out.
I got a couple more questions for you here, then we can wrap it up.
Okay,
What
cool.
was one of the most fun? I don't know if this is a good question, but what was like the
Any question's a good
most
question.
okay? What was the most fun or enjoyment you had working on a song? If you have one.
The most fun. Mm, Probably Louisiana Purchase, honestly, because like I think it was just like the thought of like, okay, we're gonna try to mix New Orleans bounce music and post hardcore. Can we do this? And like the whole time we were like, is this good? Is this good? Oh, well, let's throw this thing in there. Is that good? I don't know. Let's keep doing it until it feels good. And then it started to feel better as the song like built up. We were
Right.
like, this is funny. It's also 5 minutes long. This is not going to work. And then we put it out, and then it became our most streamed song. And now we're like, oh, okay. So I guess it worked. And so it's like, it was definitely one of the more interesting processes of creating a song, but it
I
was fun to do.
really love that song. I remember. So I was listening. I don't want to. Bouquet, right? Is the name of the first album?
Yeah, the first album. Hmm.
So I'd listened to that like hundreds of times on YouTube, and just Spotify and just a lot. And then you guys were like, "Oh, we're coming out with a new song," and I was like, "Oh, cool," you know. And I put Louis. I was like, "This like blows me out of the water." Like I love your first album, but I feel like you went above and beyond with "Speak It Into Existence." Like that song in particular, just it's
Thank you.
crazy all the stuff you put into it, and we're able to make it cohesive and work.
Thanks. Yeah, it's like we were really proud of that song. It's definitely like we're glad it's our like most favorite out there. It seems like at least number wise, because it I think that song is like uniquely us. It really couldn't have come from anyone else. So
Right. Do you have any song in particular that you feel is like your baby, like make besides Louisiana Purchase, I guess, like it gives you the most joy knowing like I made that?
outside of that one, it's definitely, at least for me, Exist Warp Breaks, because that's another one of those that just we could have only made that. Like we would have
Yeah.
only wanted to make that. Like go-go music. I not that I'm like saying that I was raised on go-go music or anything, but I think it's just really cool that we could meld the two DC sounds like go-go music and post-hardcore, like with go-go like Chuck Brown like coming up, and
Hmm.
being a forerunner for the go-go scene in DC, and then Fugazi and shit like that being a forerunner for the post-hardcore scene in
Right.
DC, blending those together. And it's just I'm just so glad it worked out the way that it did, and I really love that song for it.
Do you have any song you have regrets about or think like we could have done that better?
Um,
I mean, all your
um,
songs are bangers,
hmm.
so I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
I
so, but
appreciate that. I mean, like some of the songs on like the Function EP, like before Bouquet,
yeah.
we actually are redoing, or like we re-recorded three of them already, and those we like kind of improved as we re-recorded them. So the last two we re-recorded, and we're gonna put those out again. So it's like those are like the
Nice.
only songs that I'm like, okay, well, there were a couple things missing, or the performance wasn't right, so that's why we're gonna redo it. So like that'll be kind of like rectified at that point. But I think I really do like all of our songs. I don't really regret anything because I feel like that would be too strong of a word to put towards it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think let's see. If I had to pick one, I was like, I want to pick one. I want to actually like answer this question.
Sorry to make you do this,
Um,
but
no, it's okay. It's like I have to think about it because it's just like I do really do. I really love like all our songs. I think maybe Jack Shot, honestly, because it's like kind of the bastard child of like the whole discography because it was just a single, and I don't know if most people haven't even listened to it, but I think it kind of came out in a weird period of time where like we were just like, oh, we got to do something new, and
Mhm.
it wasn't really like as dynamic as we thought it was going to be. I love it
Right.
still, but like it just didn't push itself far enough. So yeah, still a good song though. Still worth listening to.
Awesome. So, where, if someone was looking for pulses, where can we find you guys?
You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, at pulses.va because that's where we're from. Otherwise, like you and I talked earlier, you'll find a bunch of beans if you just search for pulses.
Yeah.
So,
So really quick, I was telling Kevin, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a little bit of research. So I typed pulses into Google, and it said legumes, and it just
yep,
came up with beans. I think
just a lot of
that's a meme in
beans.
itself.
Yeah,
You guys should
exactly.
name one of your songs legumes.
I've thought about it honestly. We've literally put that in the chat before, like way back in the day when we first noticed it. But we'll see. We'll see if it happens. But
um,
Pulse is VA, so we add the VA just so people know where we're from and they can actually find us.
is there a period in the name still? Was there ever a period? Am I just
There is a
making that up?
period in the name still. The
Okay,
period comes from Let Live, actually, the Let Live
that
period.
makes
So
sense.
we are big influenced by them and decided to carry on that legacy of having punctuation.
Awesome. And I know you were saying before, but can we expect anything new sometime soon? Maybe sometime this year?
Yeah, sometime soon. Like I said, the function re-records should be out soon. They're being mixed soon. So that I think will happen before the end of the year for sure. But as far as new stuff, well, there is a new song on there too. Like it's a B-side from Speaking Into Existence.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be cool. But new stuff. LP3, we're working on it. We're like a good chunk of the way in on getting some foundation ideas and stuff going, but nothing like super serious. So that's definitely a next year thing for sure.
Understood.
But yeah, and then we might do a cover here in a bit. So you know,
Really quick
Cool.
before I let you go, did you guys cover? You
Mhm.
did Love Like Whoa, right? I
Yeah, Love
think.
Like Well by the Ready
All
Set.
right. I just wanted to make sure all my stuff was correct and I wasn't having a weird fever dream.
Yeah, we love that cover. It was super fun to make, and we love the original song a whole lot. Like we play it regularly around here, so it was cool to
Awesome.
actually like bring it into our style for a little.
Cool. I'm gonna have you stick around for a minute after I end the show just to go over
All
some
right.
things. But for everybody watching, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Kevin, very much
Yeah.
for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Go check out Pulses right now. Check out Speaking to Existence. It's such a great album. I'll put all the links in the description on YouTube, so all of you will be able to find it.
Sweet.
And yeah, this was Ramblings of a Madman. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.